So let's talk about this. So Jade Cargill has now found out that the grass is not greener on the other side. Now, everybody makes their decision. They have the right to make their decision. You know, I have no bones about it. It's your career, not mine. You know, we enjoy certain things. I enjoyed watching Jade Cargill in AEW. You know, when the things about you that change are the things that made you stand out or made you special, when those things are gone, then it's pretty much, you're at a point of, you just pretty much just, you're just like, you're the same person, different persona, different appeal, and you don't stand out anymore. You see, what AEW provides, and people don't understand this, they provide a professional wrestling platform that is well balanced with great wrestling action and you know, great storytelling. People who have the sports entertainment mindset don't understand that. So to them, they're supposed to do it the way the WWE is doing it. Every company's supposed to do that. And they'll be the first one to say they're copying the WWE if they was to do so. AEW made it clear before they even launched for the first time, they're not sports entertainment, they are professional wrestling. So when people watch AEW and they just don't understand grown-up storytelling, see, this is the problem. They like silly stuff. WWE provides nonsense. Let's fight over a Ula Fala. Let's fight over a bracelet. You know, let's start a storyline and don't complete it. Storylines don't have to make sense. Yeah, you know, so Jade Cargill. AEW knew how to use Jade Cargill. See, Jade Cargill is a wrestler that is a brutalizer. She is a strong person. That's what she was. AEW turned her into a diva. I told you guys this like last year, like I said, she's a diva. She's no longer this ass kicker. She's not even as strong as she used to be. It's funny because one of the homies said, yo, you know what? He said, what you said was exactly true about her. Check this out. She couldn't even lift Nia Jax off the floor, standing straight up. Yet her character, she's supposed to be stronger, right? Remember, Nia Jax is the one who said she's bigger than you, she's stronger than you, she's better than you. Remember she said that to Bianca Belair? Which, by the way, it's so funny how now all of a sudden, all of the people that was booing her, you know, I'm sick of Bianca. Every time I turn around, Bianca's winning, even though it's okay for Becky Lynch and Rhea to just win all the time. And they got their share of criticism too. But now all of a sudden, everybody's ready for Bianca to come back. You want her to come back and lose, or you want her to come back and win? And it's not a comeback just because, you know, it's more like we want her to replace Jade Cargill. See, Jade Cargill is a wrestler, like I said, and that's what they should, you know, that's her strong point. If you can do it with Hogan, you can do it with Goldberg, you can do it with Hercules, Hernandez, Lex Luger, then you can do it with Jade Cargill, no problem. See, the problem is WWE is turning her into an entertainer. That's not where she fits in. And that's where the problem is. It's not Jade. You can say it's Jade in terms of her maybe not feeling comfortable with what they're trying to get her to do. Jade's moves, the thing about it is you can clearly see the assistance. The wrestler would jump so Jade can get her up in the air and all kinds of stuff. Like, she don't just muscle people up. And when Nia Jax, from what I saw, when Jade went to pick her up, she couldn't even get her up on her back and stand up with her. She had no problem picking her up when she first came in, throwing out the Royal Rumble, right? See, but this is what I'm saying to you guys, man. You think the grass is green on the other side, but it's not. It might work out better for some people, but let's just look at some facts. Rusev has done nothing since he's been back. I'm telling you guys, all the biggest accomplishment for the WWE, their focus, let's just get these guys back off of the AEW roster, especially someone that's already been in WWE. And they feel like, yeah, man, they're bringing more popularity to that company than what's necessary. AEW is not going anywhere. So, you know, they didn't lose anything by losing Rusev. What has Rusev done? What has Rey Fenix done since he's been gone to the WWE? What has Penta done? What has Aleister Black? They've done nothing with these guys. It was just getting them back. And then what? All of a sudden last night, Andrade Idolo, he pops up. And it looks like he's going to be a part of the Don Callis family. Great. Great for him. Him leaving didn't hurt anything either. But having him back there is like, it just goes to show you. See, everybody knows there's only 2 powerhouse companies, wrestling companies in America. They always know this. Okay? But the problem is, see, this is the stupidity of Americans. This is the stupidity of people in this country. You know, you guys don't want to see 2 powerhouse companies. You just, it's only one company supposed to be, you know, whatever. We know who's been around the longest. And so, no, it's like they're not supposed to have any competition. There's nobody that's supposed to be able to do things on the same level. No, you can be a company, a little tinker toy company like TNA, but, you know, or MLW, but you can't, no, we can't have an AEW around. That's the stupid mentality of people in America, man. Whether you were born here, whether you came here, bottom line is just that's the mentality of stupid people in America. Okay, when I hear Vince Russo, when I hear Eric Bischoff, Bully Ray, you know, Booker T, any of these Zab Coulter, whatever, all these people that just run their mouth, they talk and talk and talk. They have that same defeated mentality. Like, if you're not doing it like the WWE, it's not going to work. This is why you hear Eric Bischoff say things like, "Oh, once TNA gets a streaming deal, they're gonna surpass AEW for sure." Yeah, that's what you hope happen, and you're also hoping that they pick up the phone and call you to bring your gray-headed ass back over to you know. It's like, really, and this is the same guy that was burying TNA after he left it, right? Go figure. You know, pretty much what we see happening is with Jade, for example. We see Jade over there. Jade is in a position now of, she's always been on getting her away from AEW. It was all cheers and applauses, but now they've ruined Jade to the point they have to rebuild Jade. Jade is no longer seen as this powerhouse kick-ass. Neither is Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's a little sweetheart, smiling at everybody, always in her feelings, trying to explain something, showing sadness. And the same thing they did to China. This is the WWE's bullshit. They tried to turn you into divas. They had a show called Total Divas. Their women's division was the Divas division. Divas champion. So this is just their mentality. Jade looks skinny now. I mean, she still has, you know, abs, and, you know, she's toned, but she looks skinny. She doesn't stand out anymore. She doesn't look any different than anybody else. She looks like she's had some work done on her face or whatever. She doesn't look like Jade. Jade was an ass kicker. Look at Jade now. And I dare any of you go back and watch Jade in AEW, and you see it's a whole complete different Jade. Her body looked better. She looked stronger. She was bigger. You know, thicker for everything. Now she just looks like a skinny chick with some tone, with a toned body. That's all she looks like. Nothing special about her. All the arm folding, rolling her eyes, all the little diva shit. Everybody's just, they are the same bullshit. So she learned the hard way. Now all of these people that was, but Andrade Idolo was doing so much better in WWE. How? Because he went back and then they acquired AAA. And what did you see him do to say he's doing better? Yeah. And he found out the grass wasn't green on the other side, even though he was there first. But he found that out. Now he's right back in AEW. Yeah. That's why the crowd was chanting holy shit, because, see, people believe what they hear. One of the biggest things about a wrestling company is this. Why it's hard for people to invest emotionally into it is because they don't think it's going to last. They think any company come out, okay, they're crossing their fingers, hoping it works. But as soon as, you know, the Bully Rays of the world, the Booker T's of the world, all these, the Eric Bischoffs, all the haters, if you notice something about any of these guys, man, they never have anything good to say about professional wrestling. And if they do, it's always something that they try to give credit for the WWE. even when they're giving you complete shit. But the second the WWE does something that becomes a moment in a negative way where everybody's talking about it, then that's when they'll step in and say something, Stevie Richards included. You know, I can say Stevie Richards he's a little more down to earth than the rest of them, but he too, they all do this bootlicking for the WWE. But yeah, when it's a moment, when it's an old shit moment like that, like for example, the botch. Yeah, you can't deny that. But then they go to a whose fault was it and all this and what was supposed to, okay, whatever. But bottom line is they have nothing good to say about no other wrestling company. Everybody else, they just don't know what they're doing. They're not good. It's so funny because I don't care if it's Jim Cornette, if it's Bischoff, whoever. You did what you did for the time, but what are you doing now? What do you have to bring to professional wrestling now? Eric Bischoff stood in an MLW ring and said, ever since he showed up, MLW has become must-see TV. Really? When is the first time anybody ever, when's the first time somebody ever came to you and said, yeah, I gotta watch MLW tonight? He did a show, they let him handle the production and everything, the script, everything. Nobody talks about that show. That was an MLW show. And why was the relationship so short with Eric Bischoff and MLW? I'm just saying, like what? So they have all this abundance of knowledge that they talk about, but they can't produce anything. Nothing. Look, Paul Heyman, for example, at one time was relevant. Paul Heyman is fat now, he's old, he's out of shape. Not that he was ever in shape, but he can't take bumps, he can't do anything except make stupid faces and just stand there. It takes him 10 minutes to fucking climb up the apron and the steps and get into the goddamn ring. He doesn't contribute anything. So this whole, back in the day where managers got their asses kicked, whether it was Sensational Sherry, whether it was Lou Albano, whether it was James J. Dillon, whoever, it made it more fun. It made it more, a Don Callis for that matter. The only thing with Don is he always finds a way to escape. But you understand what I mean? It's like they did things that made you want to see them get their ass kicked. All Paul Heyman does is stand there looking like a fucking walrus with a little burgundy suit on or whatever. He does nothing. So what exactly does he do? He just keeps switching, turning his back on wrestlers and going from one guy to the next guy to do what? And I can remember just sitting there watching saying, if Paul Heyman, all the people glazing him right now, if he left and went to AEW, all of a sudden he's not the same in AEW, he should go back to WWE. That's exactly what you guys would say. But the thing is, what use is Paul Heyman? Behind the scenes, maybe? I don't know what his talents are behind the scenes. Because, somebody made a comment the other day. They talked about how wrestlers should get punished, right? And they glazed the whole Vince McMahon era. How Vince did this and Vince did that. I'm like, sweetheart, do you not remember the Montreal screw job? Do you not remember how many countless wrestlers said Vince McMahon is a scumbag? That what he does is not to help the wrestler, it's to help the brand. This is the same man that sat here and told you, I'm going to use you. Told all his wrestlers, whoever he has that stands out, and hey, I'm going to use you until you have nothing left. That sounds like a good guy to you? Now, this person was referencing, like people doing things maybe spitefully and purposely, and I mean, hey, things do happen, right? But at the same time, Vince is no damn saint, and this is what I mean. I keep hearing all these people talk about Vince need to come back. Vince comes back and do what? Do you moron idiots not remember? You were the idiots talking about Vince need to be gone before he left. Triple H needs to take over. Vince doesn't know what he's doing. He's out of touch. Now all of a sudden, somehow you want Vince back. That's the desperation. That's because you know that your beloved WWE has been giving you pure hot garbage. Now all of a sudden, Vince need come back and do what? Vince old ass is out of touch. He's been out of touch. It was his idea to come with NXT with all that colorful white, red, green, probably them loud ass, that bright ass, looked like a playroom for a kid. I mean, all the new NXT that you got, all that stuff was their idea to read everything. At some point, you just don't have it anymore. And I don't understand how the hell you think all of a sudden Vince comes back and WWE is saved. Man. But yeah, when I'm watching this video, I'm just saying to myself, like, I hear what's being said, and what's being said is trash. Your opinion is your opinion, but it's nothing that made sense about that. But this is what people do. They hear something about, and they get news about a situation, or they see something happen, and then this is what I would have done, and they should have did this, and if this person comes back. I mean, you guys recycled. The WWE has recycled Vince McMahon, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Shane McMahon so many times. It's like, once things are not going the way you want it to, it's always cheers and applause and crossing fingers when someone shows up as the new GM. What does Nick Aldis do? What does Adam Pearce do? These guys are the most boring GMs ever. They don't do anything either. That Stephanie McMahon and Hunter regime shit was garbage. I got so sick of every other week Stephanie slapping the fuck out of her talent, and they're standing just looking stupid. Like, what the fuck? Now you're gonna bitch the wrestlers around? I mean, it was garbage. Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis do nothing. They do the same shit every show that they show their face. They come out on the ramp because somebody's fighting. They stand at the top of the ramp. Enough! One more punch is thrown, it's gonna be a heavy fight. Enough! I can't stand this anymore. The two of you, it's the same. It's just nothing interesting going on. Which is one of the reasons, like I said, when you have this GM gimmick, when they're not involved, they're just a GM. It's like, this is bullshit, man. This is some soft shit. Like, what's the purpose? And that's why I said, when you have a role, and then all of a sudden, let me give an example. You see how Christopher Daniels, he'll come out here and there, but he's not made into this figure that stands out of power, of authority. You understand what I'm saying? Where, like, he's going to make drastic decisions. No. He doesn't. So you're not going to see him every week coming out, stand up there and getting involved in matches. No. And the thing about it is this, right? It's a typical thing for GMs when they start doing that. They 10 times out of 10, even if they don't start out that way, they become heel. And they're always on the side of the bad guy. And it's always the same bullshit over and over. They're stacking matches up against the good guys. They're helping the bad guys win. It's always the same thing. Which is why I said it's refreshing when I see someone like Mercedes Moné, who's a heel but win clean. It's refreshing when I see somebody like Okada, who's a heel but win clean. Now, when bad guys cheat, of course that's what they do. But certain people stand out in different ways. And this is why I said, when you look at a company and who they have, you think, man, you know what? This is actually good shit right here, man. Because you got to think about it. What happens when you are watching a show, a whole year go by, and you still have the same 6, 7 guys, 8 people still somehow in cahoots fighting? Where, like, there's no new feuds that where's the new feuds at? Yeah, you have all these wrestlers, but you keep recycling the same matches over and over. See, this is what people are failing to understand. AEW gives you that platform that says, if you love professional wrestling, this is the show to watch. If you are a professional wrestler and you love professional wrestling, this is the place for you to be. Now, if you want that balance of professional wrestling and storylines, potent storylines that go long term, this is the place to be. The thing with them is they don't do overkill with their storylines. And that's one of the things, like I told you guys before, when you have monthly pay-per-views, the storylines are not going to be as strong. What you guys fail to realize, the format that they use with The Rock and Stone Cold and all that, it was always just insults. If you think about it, the majority of their storylines, it wasn't really about something that someone did to somebody and then this escalated to that. I mean, you had the elements there, but the majority of their promos was just, moments. Do you think that I'm afraid of you? Well, it doesn't matter what you think, right? They always had their little catchphrases. Now, you already knew it was coming. So for the people that sit there, right, I'm sitting there going, man, it's the same old shit every week. And you knew what was coming. So I've never liked that style of storytelling. That's why I've always liked the other companies better, because their wrestling and the storylines, it had nothing to do with, we got catchphrases and we're going to, when he asks you what you think, what's coming after that. It's always everything. Take my foot, turn that sumbitch sideways, stick it up your Rudy Poo, candy, and y'all sitting up here just, Rocky, and Stone Cold, same thing. They all had their little catchphrases, and they all had their little, it was just the same thing. So it was very easy for them to make storylines with, okay, all you gotta do is go out and just talk shit. So the storylines that they did have, whether you liked it or not, is subjective. But what I'm saying, they were giving you, it was really the same shit over and over. It's like when you hear Bret Hart and different wrestlers say Ric Flair had the same match every night. They're not hating on Ric Flair, they're being honest. You go back and look at all the matches that Flair, it's the same thing. When Flair run up to that top rope, he's not going to land. I mean, if he jumps off that double axe handle and landed, you're like, oh shit, he landed it, right? Okay, it got to the point where no, he couldn't land that motherfucker anymore. And if he was fighting Sting or Luger, they were going to get gorilla pressed off this fucking top rope and slammed off it. He's going to do something. He's going to chop you in the chest. They're going to hawk up. They're going to punch him. He's going to walk, push the ref out the way, and then do a nosedive. I mean, it was the same shit over and over, right? So this is where, when you look at professional wrestling, the whole scope of it, certain wrestlers that you guys are going, I love this guy. I'm like, same old stuff, man. So no, when I watch, like, I stopped watching WWE, period. But like I said, certain little clips, I highlight, some shit pops up. I don't watch them. I don't follow them. I don't watch them, man. But the things that I hear come from other content creators, the things that I see, these little clips that it's like, yeah, okay, cool. Because I can't speak on something if I'm not, you understand, if I don't know. So what I'm looking at, and then I read the comments that people make, and it's like, yeah, you see, you guys have made your mind up that they're giving you bullshit, but you're too stupid to treat yourself to something that you can like. It is enjoyable. You're the miserable people that Rhea Ripley are talking about, because nothing makes you happy. You just bitch and complain about everything. For all of the people that thought it was a great idea for Jade Cargill to leave AEW and come to WWE, was not because of her future and all that. No. See, this is what I think. Jade Cargill thought coming to WWE was better for her. Oh, I want to be an actress. I want to be in movies. I want to be in music videos. I want to do this. Right? And she felt like WWE would provide her the platform. Okay, Mercedes Moné was in the movie and whatever. I didn't watch the shit. This woman is racking up belt after belt after belt. So what she's doing and making history and setting her legacy and all this is all professional wrestling shit. I mean, AEW wrestlers are in movies too. Okay. But you know what they're not doing? They're not trying to go Hollywood. Not the company. The company is promoting and pushing professional wrestling. That's what they do. Let me give you another scenario that I gave you before. Okay, let me just give you as an example. Imagine if the NFL decided they're going to cut down to 2 quarters of football instead of 4. And the other 2 hours is just a bunch of bullshit ads and talking, and people insulted each other and a bunch of so-called entertainment. You'd be like, what the fuck happened to the NFL? What is this shit, man? Now imagine the people that come into this generation and this is what they see the NFL doing, right? So what happens? Think about it. What happens is really simple. If they like it, this generation that catches on think this new 2 quarters of an NFL with a bunch of ads and rappers and singers and bullshit and whatever the fuck, this is what they were born into, so this is all they know. But to you and me that's been watching the NFL, like, nah, this is some bullshit. I mean, what's the purpose? Okay, this is what people born into this generation is seeing with the WWE. A bunch of ads, a bunch of talking, a bunch of 25-minute fucking promos and not any real action. I mean, so when they watch AEW, or before they even see AEW, right? But they see, because YouTube is popular, social media is popular, and they see all of these haters sitting up there talking about, well, AEW, they're not doing this, or they should be doing that. See, here's what it is. It's some unwritten rule that AEW or any other company that comes out, okay, as a professional wrestling company, has to be able to surpass WWE and ratings. Like, so until AEW breaks whatever highest numbers that WWE has put out, they can't even break anymore. They're not even coming close to it. So if they don't do it, they're failing somehow. They're not able to cap. First of all, wrestling is not mainstream. This is why you hear people say, well, Raw's ratings slipped, but to be fair, it went head to head with Monday Night Football. See, they thought coming to Netflix was going to change all that. And the amount of people that watch Netflix, they thought it was just, boom, for sure, all across the world. Not just America, all across the world, everybody's going to catch on. Look, they went from a 5.9, right? You know what their latest ratings are? They're down to a 2.3. SmackDown is down to a 1.3. And a couple of weeks ago, it was a 1.1. So with everything that's going on, with all this greed, this is why I don't feel sorry for them and why I just don't care about the WWE, because they don't care about all the wrestlers that is in AEW or any other company for that matter that will be out of work if AEW was to go out of business. They're not going to hire all these people. They're not concerned about how anybody else is going to feed their families. It's all about we just want everything. And all of this counter programming, they're giving you a bunch of bullshit. This is why AEW, they don't give you monthly pay-per-views, which means they have more time to build storylines between not just two wrestlers, but multiple people. Because now, think about this. If you have a roster of 80-something wrestlers, right? How the hell do you get 80-something people on two-hour shows, or three really, because they got our Ring of Honor as well? But let's just, as far as Dynamite and Collision, how do you get all these people? You can't. So therefore, they have so much room to build storylines that make sense, storylines that add up, storylines that are interesting and start to brew. So when it comes to whether it's a head-on on Dynamite, Collision, or pay-per-view, bottom line is the story's there. The problem, like I said, with these WWE retards is they're only used to these childish little storylines. Nobody cares about you fighting over no fucking Ula Fala in AEW. They don't care about you wrestling over no fucking bracelet. They don't care about that. Remember the storyline they did with Chris Jericho when he was trying to teach or persuade Daniel Garcia to become a sports entertainer, not a wrestler. He was like, I'm sports entertainment. Remember that? What did the crowd used to chant to Daniel Garcia? You're a wrestler, right? They knew what they were doing when they did that storyline. And that's one of the storylines that I liked too as well. I knew it. And look, they always said we are not sports entertainment. We are professional wrestling. But Chris Jericho's been all over the place. So him being a sports entertainer at one point, he understood. See, what WWE retards like, they thought he was going to come to AEW with, you just made the list. I got so sick of that stupid shit, man. It was like, all right, man. Because it's just every week. Every single week, the same thing. Now, if you look at, take Daniel Garcia, for example. I can remember all these different channels that glaze the hell out of WWE. See, this is what AEW needs. Like when Daniel Garcia does his dance, see, I'm tuning in to watch Daniel Garcia. Nah, that's certainly not the reason I'm watching. I mean, I thought it was kind of funny how when you chop him in the chest and start hitting him, and you know how Sting hulks up and beats his chest or whatever, but Daniel Garcia starts doing that little dance. Yeah, I thought that was funny, but I'm certainly not tuning in to watch a man wiggle his hips. No, not while I'm watching. But this is what I'm saying. See, wrestling is about moments. See, AEW doesn't get it. It's about moments. You could have a great match. Nobody cares about great matches. Like, listen to that, you bitch-ass motherfuckers. You are a part of an industry that has a plethora of companies, and none of them are on the same level of an AEW or WWE. But all of them are wrestling. They don't have the budget to do all this other shit. They don't do the weekly shows. They don't have big TV deals. And here you are talking about, it's about moments that people remember. People get bored with shit real quick. So once again, you're holding what AEW does to WWE standards and expectations. And instead of understanding, no, AEW has a whole different path that they're on. AEW isn't trying to be sports entertainment. They have a well-balanced program, and you know what? They do it well. We need to understand this is who they are and stop trying to change them to be another version of the WWE. And that's all it is. Now, if Andrade Idolo was doing so much better in WWE, why the fuck did he come back to AEW? And if Jade Cargill is such trash and she's just not getting, well, why is WWE investing so much time in her? Why? Oh, send her back to NXT. Send her to NXT for what? To show, okay, we failed her. She's not what we wanted her to be. Now we're sending her to NXT. They don't fucking, doesn't matter. Every NXT wrestler, what happens when they come to the main roster? Ask Carmelo Hayes. Ask Roxanne Perez. How are they treated once they come to the main roster? Why is Jordan Grace still in NXT? Why is Lash Legend and fucking Jada Parker always losing? So every time you have a fucking stupid suggestion about going to NXT, like, oh, she's going to learn how to wrestle. Then they don't care about matches. You don't care about matches. This is the tell me your story era, right? So WWE is not caring about that. See, the problem is they won't let Jade be Jade. It's like, example, it's like taking Muhammad Ali and trying to make him fight like Mike Tyson. Or taking Mike Tyson and trying to make him fight like Muhammad Ali. No, let Jade be Jade. See, AEW knew how to do that. You guys are bitching about John Cena's retirement, the fact that he got squashed by Brock Lesnar. I talked about that. I saw these comments. I don't watch that bullshit, but I understand what happened. And I said, wow. So let's look at Sting's retirement. Yeah. Yeah, completely different, isn't it? And then you have him get squashed by Brock. And isn't he supposed to be wrestling AJ Styles at the next, whatever the event they got going on? Who really cares? Who's really that interested now in his retirement tour? Okay, we know that he's about to retire, so who cares if he beats AJ Styles or not? What does it fucking even matter now? This is how stupid they are. John Cena should still be, this is how dumb they are. He should still be the world champion. He wanted to walk away with that belt. Either he gets the nod to do that or he doesn't. But he should still be world champion. John Cena, this is how dumb they are. John Cena could walk away from the WWE with that belt, and it wouldn't hurt the talent that's still there. You want to know why? Because John's gone for good. Allegedly. Okay? He's gone for good. And it could have been against, and this is what they could have done. This is what they could have done, right? Now, I don't really like giving my ideas on how a whole show, whatever, and I got great ideas, but I'm not, look, since they did that, they could have easily done this. So it's not predictable. They could have had a situation where John Cena is about to get the win. All of a sudden there's interference. And it shouldn't be against Cody Rhodes unless Cody's turning heel. It should be against someone where they think the inevitable is going to happen. Oh, okay, they're going to cheat, they're going to interfere, and John's going to lose. But you want to know what? John Cena could have very easily walked away, still world champion. And what they could have did, let's say he got 2 more dates left. Just say, right? One of those dates could have been a celebration for him, right? And bottom line, it could have been a situation where either he walks away with that belt or he walks into a match where somebody's saying, John, I know you don't want to walk out like that, right? Or whatever it may be. Somehow fix it where he's in a match with someone that, you see how, for example, he was called out by, who was it that called him out? At one point, it was saying it would be my honor to fight you. Was it the guy with the beard? I don't remember. I stopped watching that shit. But bottom line is, and then just like that, they had a match. Okay, so my thing is, at least this way, when he lose, it's a heel. And that heel is going to be somebody that they don't want to have the belt. So when he beats John, he gets major heat. Whoever that heel. I'm just saying, they could have did something more to it. Why the fuck he has the belt, he becomes 17-time champ, then he loses it back to Cody? Like, stupid booking, man. Stupid fucking booking. And then now, not to mention, think about it, he gets squashed by Brock Lesnar. So his last dates is going to be against who? Who cares? But, you know, this is your beloved WWE. Now, what I will say, once again, when people think, oh, if I go run to the WWE, I'm automatically just going to move it. It's not like that. Look at Braun Breaker. What have they done with Braun Breaker so far? He had one of the weakest title reigns you ever seen with that Intercontinental Championship or whatever it was. He lost it to a fucking luchador, to the damn Rey Mysterio in a four-way or whatever, and then he ended up becoming a little crony for Seth Rollins with him teaming up with this Brunson. I mean, what's happened? Nothing. All they are is a part of the WWE. And if their stars shine so bright, their ratings wouldn't be slipping like it is. And so you say, but they're still higher than AEW. This isn't making WWE's product any better. AEW is where they should be. It's simple. And how they grow and how things go forward, that's, hey, time will tell. But they're only 6 years old. And this is what you guys are not understanding. You're overlooking this purposely, but they're only 6 years old. Look at where they are. So look at where TNA is, and look how long fucking TNA's been around. So yeah, MLW, NWA, all these other companies, New Japan included. Okay, any of them. Let's look at all these companies. Look at where they are. Look at where AEW is. So let's stop playing stupid. And you know, when I look at all of these people that sit up here week after week after week after week and have nothing but angry rants about WWE, what makes me laugh is I know no matter what you say, you're going to tune in the following week and watch the show again and complain and complain and continue to watch it and just waste your time, which lets us know you have no real life. You're just a boring, miserable person that your whole life is to sit up and just watch TV and talk shit on your channel about nothing, because you already know what you're getting. If you take the time to be more creative with storylines, if you take the time to make sure that your wrestlers are already getting it, because it's funny because Tiffany Stratton botches just as much as Jade does, and it's not even the whole thing is they're using her wrong, man. They're using her wrong. Like I said, they just wanted to get these people away from AEW, but what's so much better for her? And they didn't offer her more money than Tony Khan did. So what did she find herself doing? What did she, what's better for her? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not in the wrestling business. What she got going on outside? What? I mean, who knows about? Who cares? We know she likes to take photos and post them all over her Instagram shit and all that. I don't follow none of that shit. It's fine. I'm not like following any of these people on like social media or nothing. I lost complete interest in the WWE. I lost complete interest in TNA. Like I said, I do watch, you know, NWA here and there on a late night or something. I'm chilling. I'm, you know, and did my thing and whatever now, or whatever, or MLW. I'll sit and I can't watch any of that shit consistently. It's just not intriguing enough. It's nothing about it that makes me want to really watch it. AEW is the only company that I'm watching right now, period, where it's just like, you know, I'm interested in seeing Dynamite and Collision every week, whenever they put something up for Ring of Honor, stuff like that. But pretty much, it's too much going on, man. I have no interest in just my life is not. I'm not confined to a fucking couch or chair just sitting here watching wrestling all day every day or whatever. I'm not the fan type. I'm like I said, there are things I enjoy and there's things I appreciate, but that's as far as it goes with me. As far as what the WWE is providing you guys with as a company, it's in their name. Wrestling, okay? World Wrestling Entertainment. They stopped giving you guys storylines that make sense a long time ago. They stopped doing things that I was interested in a long time ago. It was just something to watch, and I just didn't find myself enjoying the show. AJ Lee comes back, so what? And when somebody returns, it's always a pop the first night. But then after that, then what? Who was AJ Lee? What has she done? People remembered her. They feel like her career ended shortly. They wanted to see more of her, just like CM Punk's situation. She comes back. She's involved with Becky Lynch. Okay, cool. What is she going to do? Just skip the line and everybody she beef with is going to be, what, Becky, then Nia, then Tiffany, then Jill? Like, what is their plan? She's just going to, because on her own, what is it about AJ Lee that anybody cares about that all of a sudden we just have to start watching Raw or SmackDown? It doesn't matter, man. She's just AJ Lee. She's no legend. She has done nothing to really where, like, she's some real standout star. No, it's just, hey, people miss seeing her. She's 38 years old now, right? Okay. Fine. She's back. So what? You understand what I'm saying? Like, so what? If AJ Lee does anything, if she wins a championship or whatever, when you have a presence about yourself, when there's something about you that it's like a demand for you, and anytime you're on TV, the ratings do go up and stay up, that's very difficult in this day and time. So once they see your face, okay, wow, yay, but then it's like, all right, same old boring shit again, just another new face. And in her case, just a returning face. Her prime was a long time ago. Right now, her coming back in this era, it's different. It's a different era of time, man. So for the people that don't know who AJ Lee is, they're okay. She's that's CM Punk's wife. Oh, she's okay, but they don't really care. CM Punk being there, big deal. So all of these people that are in WWE right now that thought the grass would be greener, well, I tell you what, if you go home or you sit home angry, bored, uninterested in what you just saw, disappointed, you don't think that these wrestlers feel the same way you do behind closed doors? You don't think, you think Carmelo Hayes is happy that he gets beat every fucking time he wrestles? You don't think these wrestlers have the same frustrations as you? Of course they do. Of course they do. So instead of sitting here trying to bash AEW or any other company, you need to understand, first off, it's just a show. Either you like it or you don't. The fact that you guys make it seem like you just lost your mom or your dad because you've seen a bad episode of Raw or SmackDown, but you keep tuning in, it makes you look like real fools. You know, but at the same time, it's not that serious. But let you guys tell it. It's your whole life sitting up here glazing the fuck out of other grown men and women. Well, I'm pretty sure a whole lot of them have understood. Like John Cena said, it's great having AEW because, you know, it's more fun for us to watch. It's you know, I got a lot of friends over there. There's people that have places to go and work, you know, and it adds to the wrestling genre. Wow. It's weird how other people within WWE won't say the same thing, but as soon as they get kicked the fuck out, hey, Tony, yeah, I was just wondering, do you have any spots available for me? I have some ideas if you want to hit. Yeah. Now all of a sudden AEW is the place to be, huh? And that's why I said, Tony, be careful with who you hire, released from WWE, because you got a lot of leeches who you give them a 3-year contract, you say, once those 3 years over, if they plan on running back to WWE, skip them. Let them go find a way to make their own money because they're not there. Of course, you're there to make your money, but if you don't give a fuck about the company you work for, just to go run back to the same people that fired you, I wouldn't trust people like that. I wouldn't. You know, the second I keep hearing stuff about Chris Jericho is expected to come back to WWE. Who cares? Chris Jericho is down there 60 fucking years old. Who gives a fuck? You can only reinvent yourself so many times. What are you going to put him in a wheelchair match? and some bullshit Legends deal, whatever. I mean, it's his business. But where and listen, I don't know that this is true, but this is what people are hoping happen. Saying people expect Jericho to go back to WWE. Look, man, at some point you got to understand. In-ring talent, you have a much quicker expiration date than somebody behind the scenes. I don't know what Chris Jericho's status is. I don't know what Britt Baker's status is. But bottom line is, it's always WWE. Who says this? Where are they getting this information from? But let's say if he did go to WWE, what is he going to go back to this? You just made the list, and what's supposed to happen when he comes back? Oh, the ratings are going to go through the roof because Chris Jericho, a damn near 60-year-old man, comes back to WWE? Like, well, the AEW fans are more familiar with him, and he's been there for a while now. So, I mean, that's his business where he goes. But it's always these WWE wishfuls hoping that that's what ends up happening. You know, look, AEW doesn't need Chris Jericho. It's not bad having Chris Jericho around, but at the same time, it's always the same thing. If he was to go stay at AEW, you'll find criticism. If he goes to WWE, you'll find you'll applaud it. A couple of weeks go by, this stuff sucks. It's awful. It's so it's the same thing. So, Jade Cargill, you know, outside of AEW, do you really think Jade Cargill wants to go to TNA? Do you think she wants to go to MLW or the NWA? I think not. And she knows she's not going to get that kind of money. So her wanting the movie roles and all this other stuff she's talking about, it's not guaranteed just because you're in the WWE. And if you thought you had a better shot at that happening by being in the WWE, you found out real different now, didn't you? And that's what she looks like, a little diva. That's why she slimmed down so much. She's actually fucking skinny now, man. She's just like a tall, skinny motherfucker with muscle tone. Shit, Bianca Belair looked the way Jade used to look. You saw how jacked Bianca got before she left? Yeah, before she got that injury and left. You know, yeah. But that's how Jade used to look. Jade just looks tall and skinny, and they're pretending she's stronger than everybody else. She's not. Couldn't even lift fucking Nia Jax up on her back, man. Come on. And that's squatting. All right? She couldn't even do that. We seen fucking Bianca Belair pick up, what's his name, Otis, and walk around the ring with that motherfucker, who's way bigger than Nia Jax. And this skinny-ass, weak version of Jade Cargill, I mean, hey, man, this is what they do. They done turn her to a model, to a diva. I told you guys. That's their MO, man. Let's erase everything about you that people remember from AEW. Now let's turn you into what we want you to be. Let's turn you into what our visions say you should be. That's what you see with Jade. But she fucked around and found out. The grass is not greener on the other side for her. But where she goes from here, that's all up to Jade. That's all I got for you guys now. Catch you guys in the next video.